Hi, my name is Maryam, or Maryam, but if you can't roll your R's, Maryam's okay. My teaching philosophy, or my North Star that guides me when I teach, is that everybody, regardless of race, sex, socioeconomic status, or ability, can learn when given the opportunity. That's where us teachers come in. I am a strong believer that to accomplish this, we have to recognize the diversities in our classrooms. To introduce my artifact, I'm going to begin with a little story. I grew up in Markham, Ontario, which had a very diverse population of students. Growing up, every time I walked into a classroom, the teacher would have a bulletin board on display containing some of history's finest achievers or heroes. I would walk up to this board, read it, and scratch my head confusedly. Why does this always look a little funny? Being a young Middle Eastern girl, I never really saw anyone that looked like me up on those boards. I was also part of a multicultural classroom, and I didn't really see anyone that looked like any of my classmates either. Although these people did some pretty great things to help the world, I never really made a connection with them. I shrugged and moved on. I had a hard time finding anybody to look up to when I was younger because no one really came from my cultural background. It made me feel a little left out. Even when I looked to my teachers, I didn't notice anyone that looked like me, which made me feel sad since I'd wanted to be a teacher since I was 6 years old. I gave up on my dream so many times over the years because I never saw anyone to look up to. My parents noticed the lack of diversity in teachers too, and when I shared my dream with them, they said I would have to work extra hard and might as well find another career. In the end, I decided that I wanted to change things for other students, so they had somebody to look up to. I just completed a practicum, and when I walked in, I looked up and saw yet another wall of notable individuals that again looked nothing like me, or like any of the children in the grade 7-8 class that I was teaching in. I was getting kind of old. I went home and researched different role models who have worked hard to become successful in the things that they loved or cared about. I found so many people from such diverse backgrounds, such as women and people of color, that never made it up onto any of the boards at my schools. My artifact is to create a bulletin board, showcasing inspiring people, but not like it was done in the past. That needs to get thrown out. I want to make sure every child in my class has somebody they can look up to and think, hey, if they could do it, so could I. I don't want anyone to walk by that bulletin board every day without a second thought or stare at it scratching their heads like I did so long ago. I want them to make a connection to the stories and to the people up on those boards. Students should be able to contribute as well. Although I'll always have a diversity of individuals displayed on my board, I'll keep part of it partially empty, and students can search for their own role models to display. It can be someone they know. It can be their older sister, an athlete they look up to, their mom, their dad, the neighbor next door. Sharing their role models with each other will create even more diversity representation in the classroom, and I can learn more about who they can look up to and incorporate it through years of teaching. In Teachers College, we often discuss the ways in which teaching has failed students in the past, and how to acknowledge the errors and improve on every generation. Canada is such a big and multicultural society, but we still have such a long way to go in diverse representation for our students. I hope that my artifact takes us one step in the right direction and gives my students hope for their own futures. Thank you for listening to my video.